AXED Alexander-Arnold faces fight for club and country. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been left facing an uphill fight on two fronts after he was dropped by England coach Thomas Tuchel for the World Cup qualifiers against Andorra and Serbia. The 26-year-old's dream move from Liverpool to Real Madrid suffered an undistinguished start when he was relegated to the substitutes bench for the win against Oviedo after being taken off 68 minutes into his La Liga debut against Osasuna. And now, with his exclusion from the latest England squad, it is clear Alexander-Arnold has a battle to figure in next summer's World Cup if they qualify, after Tuchel's latest demonstration that he is far from convinced by the fullback. The German made all the right noises, but has previously barely disguised his reservations about Alexander-Arnold defensively, even to the extent of picking his former Liverpool teammate Curtis Jones, an established midfielder, ahead of him for the World Cup qualifier against Andorra in June. Alexander-Arnold only played 26 minutes as a substitute in that game, then did not figure at all in the subsequent friendly defeat to Senegal at the City Ground in Nottingham. And if he did not know already that he has work to do to fit into Tuchel's plans leading up to the World Cup, he certainly knows now. When asked about leaving out Alexander-Arnold and Jack Grealish, who has made a fine start on loan at Everton, Tuchel said, "We decided for a tighter, more competitive squad. We didn't use all 23 players. There is no doubt I am a big fan of Trent and Jack Grealish. Big players and big personalities always in the mix. I know both are desperate, but in this camp we decided for Reece James and Tino Livramento in Trent's position, and in Jack's position Marcus Rashford and Ebereki Eze, simply for competition. The competition is up." The England boss sounded the alarm bells for Alexander-Arnold before those games in June, when he openly questioned his defensive ability, saying he must take that aspect of his game very, very seriously. "I can see that sometimes he relies heavily on his offensive contributions and gives not so much emphasis on the defensive discipline and effort," added Tuchel. This major impact that he had for Liverpool over so many years. If he wants to have this impact in the English national team, then he has to take the defensive part very, very seriously. Because when we are talking, especially about qualifying football and then tournament football, the one defensive error, the one moment where you are not 100% awake can be decisive. It can be the moment where you pack your suitcases and go home. It was a brutal analysis of Alexander-Arnold's game. Now Tuchel has gone a step further by dropping him completely, piling more misery on a chastening period for the defender, who left Liverpool for the Bernabeu on a free transfer. Tuchel clearly feels he has enough options at his disposal at right back with the inclusion of Chelsea captain James, and Tottenham's Jed Spence and Newcastle's Livramento, who can play on both flanks. It all adds up to an inauspicious few days for Alexander-Arnold, who has made an uncertain start at Real Madrid and finds club legend Dani Carvajal fit again, and in no mood to hand over the right-back berth he has made his own while helping the side win 6 Champions Leagues and 4 La Liga titles. Spain international Carvajal has made a quicker-than-expected return to fitness after suffering a serious knee ligament injury in October, and the timing could not be worse for Alexander-Arnold. The 33-year-old Carvajal, who holds iconic status at Real, is the ultimate competitor and would regard the Englishman's arrival as a challenge he is more than happy to accept, and one he intends to win. Spanish football expert Guillem Balog told the BBC Radio 5 Live EuroLeague's podcast that questions are already being raised about Alexander-Arnold in Spain. He said, "The Spanish media have a narrative already on Trent. He's too shy, he doesn't fit in, Carvajal will surpass him. I hope he, Trent, hears this and the Spanish he speaks, that he can read the Spanish media. He has a big challenge. We know he can go up and down, but to adapt to a Xabi Alonso team and do it consistently, Carvajal has an advantage as he can do it straight away and understand it, and knows what Xabi wants. Trent has an education that he needs to do. Carvajal, even though he is 33, he will be there and it will be difficult to take him out of the lineup." Alexander-Arnold made a smooth entrance at Real Madrid, impressing the locals by speaking in fluent Spanish at his unveiling. But there have been bumps in the road since, with Tuchel's decision to drop him another body blow for the Merseysider. The challenge now confronting Alexander-Arnold is a daunting one. He may have expected to fight for a place with England, but surely not so soon at Real Madrid. And if Tuchel had concerns when he was playing regularly at Liverpool, they are hardly likely to disappear if he is on the margins with Los Blancos. England's senior team has been an unfulfilling environment for Alexander-Arnold in recent years, with Tuchel's predecessor Sir Gareth Southgate also having concerns about his defensive frailties. This led to the ill-fated experiment, Southgate's description, of playing him in midfield at Euro 2024 in Germany, a strategy predictably abandoned when he was substituted 9 minutes after halftime in England's second game, a 1-1 draw against Denmark. Alexander-Arnold did have the brief moment of joy when he scored the winning penalty in the quarter-final shootout success over Switzerland, but this latest decision now casts serious doubt over his international future, a setback for a player who will have had the World Cup firmly in his sights. What should have been shaping up as potentially the most glittering period of his career is suddenly overloaded with obstacles at both England and Real Madrid. England drop Alexander-Arnold. Spence and Anderson called up. Trent Alexander-Arnold has been left out of Thomas Tuchel's latest England squad, with call-ups for uncapped duo Elliot Anderson and Jed Spence. Right-back Alexander-Arnold left Liverpool for Real Madrid in the summer and was named in Tuchel's previous squad. However, he has not been named in the squad for World Cup qualifiers against Andorra and Serbia. Alexander-Arnold, 26, was left out of the starting lineup for Real Madrid's 3-0 win at Real Oviedo on Sunday. Nottingham Forest midfielder Anderson and Tottenham fullback Spence get their first call-ups, though Everton winger Jack Grealish misses out despite Tuchel's assistant Anthony Barry watching him impress in last weekend's win against Brighton. There are recalls from Marcus Rashford, Adam Wharton and Jared Bowen, while 35-year-old Jordan Henderson, who is featured in 3 of Tuchel's 4 games in charge, is again included. But there is no place for Kyle Walker, 35, his former Manchester City teammate Phil Foden, Trevoh Chalobah or Ali striker Ivan Toney. Tino Livramento and John Stones get their first call-ups since Tuchel took charge. Real Madrid midfielder Jude Bellingham is out through injury along with Bukayo Saka, Cole Palmer and Levi Colwill. Tuchel said, "The competition is on for places, with the World Cup starting next June. I don't like the phone calls, telling players they are not included, but I kind of like them because it shows we have players pushing and players fighting for a place in the squad," the England manager said. "That's exactly what we want." Tuchel named a 26-man squad last time out, but the German has deliberately cut it for 24 for September's games. "We have made the squad more tight, more competitive. We have to create a better feeling, we have to bring more energy," he added. England play Andorra, who are 174th in FIFA's world rankings, at Villa Park on Saturday, September 6, 1700 hours British Summer Time. It will be the first time the senior side have played at Aston Villa's home since a goalless draw with the Netherlands in 2005. Tuchel's side then travel to Belgrade to play Serbia on Tuesday, September 9, 1945. England sit top of Group K with 3 wins out of 3, although they did lose their last match 3-1, a friendly against Senegal at the City Ground on June 10. Full England squad. Goalkeepers, Jordan Pickford, Everton, James Trafford, Man City, Dean Henderson, Crystal Palace. Defenders, Reece James, Chelsea, Mark Gahey, Crystal Palace, John Stones, Man City, Dan Burn, Newcastle, Ezri Konsa, Aston Villa, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Arsenal, Tino Livramento, Newcastle, Jed Spence, Tottenham. Midfielders, Elliot Anderson, Nottingham Forest, Morgan Gibbs-White, Nottingham Forest, Jordan Henderson, Brentford, Adam Wharton, Crystal Palace, Morgan Rogers, Aston Villa, Declan Rice, Arsenal. Forwards, Harry Kane, Bayern Munich, Ebereki Eze, Arsenal, Jared Bowen, West Ham, Anthony Gordon, Newcastle, Noni Madueke, Arsenal, Marcus Rashford, Barcelona, on loan from Man United, Ollie Watkins, Aston Villa. I hope Anderson can make his mark. Anderson, 22, is rewarded for his impressive form since moving to the City Ground from Newcastle in July 2024. He takes the place of Bellingham in Tuchel's 24-man squad. Anderson also starred in England's under-21 Euros triumph over the summer. A regular player for Nottingham Forest and had a fantastic season, said Tuchel when asked about his reasons for including Anderson. He is excited to come join us and hope he can make his mark. Tino Livramento is also with us based on these observations, because they had a very good tournament at under 21 Euros. Spence, 25, represented England at under 21 level 7 times between 2022 and 2023, and now gets his chance at senior level. He has missed just 5 Tottenham games in all competitions since he made his full Premier League debut for the club in a 5-0 win over Southampton in December. Bad week for Alexander-Arnold. When Alexander-Arnold was unveiled as a Real Madrid player in June, the Liverpool-born player impressed the crowd by speaking in Spanish and said his move was a dream come true. Now, in the space of a week, he has had to make do with a place on the bench for his new club and come to terms with not adding to his 34 England caps in September. His 3 Lions omission comes 9 months before the start of the 2026 World Cup. The Spanish media have a narrative already on Trent. He's too shy, he doesn't fit in. Dani Carvajal will surpass him, Spanish football journalist Guillem Balog said on the BBC EuroLeague's podcast. I hope he hears this. He has a big challenge. We know he can go up and down the right-hand side, but can he adapt to a Xabi Alonso team and do it consistently? Trent needs an education on what he needs to do. We are starting to see Tuchel make his picks clear and his opinions known to players. He had Alexander-Arnold in the squad in the summer, but he didn't start either game. Walker has been very vocal about chasing 100 caps, currently on 96, but he looked slightly off the pace in the Senegal friendly in June. Age might be catching up with him. 10 players are out from the last squad. One reason is that England only beat Andorra 1-0 in June before losing 3-1 to Senegal. There are injuries to key players like Bellingham, Palmer and Saka as well. They would be near enough certainties to play for England if they were fit.